Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Play Through the Darkest of Times. This will be part 9 of our Let's Play. In the last episode, we did a bunch of stuff. We did a lot of sort of groundwork for what I'm hoping is this episode. But the first thing we need to sort out is morale, and it is low. So we're probably going to go dancing, because I don't see why we wouldn't. He has 50 morale. It should theoretically, I think, drop everyone's heat. So that's what we're going to do. This is going to be a pretty quiet week for the Resistance. We still got 17 marks donated, which is pretty good. Yeah, we went dancing. Boom. SS murders 14,000 civilians in Ukraine. The German death squad, Einsatzgruppe C, shoots 14,000 Jewish civilians at Kamenets-Podolsky. Protests against euthanasia succeed. Due to protests, Hitler orders the discontinuation of the so-called euthanasia, the systematic murder of the mentally ill. 70,273 have been killed so far. Wehrmacht occupies Tallinn. German troops conquer the Soviet city of Reval, or Tallinn, in Estonia, and inflict severe losses on the Soviet Navy as they advance. During tonight's meeting, we discuss the war, and Arthur Ender says, maybe it'll be shorter than we think. Shorter because the Allies are so powerful. Not exactly. What I'm thinking is that Hitler keeps attacking in all possible directions, Poland and France, but also Britain, and now he's invading Russia. Can the victories last? I hope you're right. Perhaps Hitler is overextending himself, but then we have to ask ourselves, what happens to Germany if he starts losing? Yeah, especially against the Soviets. I'll tell you how that story ends. It's not great. Okay, so we didn't lose any notoriety, which is a bit shit. But not the end of the world. We have morale back, which means we can start doing things. Now, we're still working towards this, Frozen Lightning. So to do that, we need 3 critical intel and 3 uniforms. Now, we might be able to go after this uniform. This new reckless athlete, doubtful past. Honestly, I think we do this and we take the club. Like, at this point, the mission's just going to be dangerous. I think we just have to send them. And then we might just make that our only thing. Right? So what do we need for this? Breaking the factory, we need gain access to the factory, which means we need to write slogans on the walls, which means we need paint. So we could get Amelia Marla to buy paint? Yeah, actually, no, we'll do this instead. This is fine. We'll see how this goes. This will be the first big sort of thing we've had to do. Gerhard Kettmann, Arthur Ender. Oh, okay, it's just a thing. Just a guy. Okay, wow, just that easy. It was just a guy that was suspicious of us. See, there's one of those here, too. No, we'll enforce this as well. And Haro thinks he's been seen. That's fine. Jews forced to wear yellow badges. Jews in the territory of the Reich must wear a clearly visible yellow badge in the form of a Star of David, in which the word Jew is written. French hostages executed. Paris. As revenge for assassinations of German soldiers and a German policeman, the German High Command executes several French hostages. Ghetto set up in Vilnius. A ghetto is set up in German-occupied Vilnius, in which the Jewish population of the city is sealed off from the rest of the population. So much has changed in Berlin, says Gerhard Kettmann during our meeting, but it finally hit me why there seems to be so much less vitality here. What do you think it is? All of our young men are gone. There's no young people walking around, going to work, studying, flirting, and falling in love. They've all been drafted and sent to war. It's as if the city's beating heart has been cut out. A whole generation's been sent away. A whole generation's been sent away to fight and die in this war. I hope as many come back as possible. Okay, Arthur Ender. Not a great position to be in. Everyone else is more or less fine, though. But, on the upside, we have 1 army uniform. So that's a start. We need to get 2 more. So first we need to do this. So I need observe Wehrmacht activities, which needs more money. Need money. To get this one, I have to write slogans on the wall. So we're going to send someone to do that. Doesn't feel good, does it? I mean, I'd be ideal for it, but... Or doubtful pass, Helen Kupfer? He's better, right? It definitely looks like it. You know what? I think we just have to do this, and then everyone else can take a pass this week. We're going to lose some supporters, but we'll still get money. Which should be enough to observe some Wehrmacht activities. No, enforce it. I'm sick of playing games. I wonder when the next big event's going to be, though. It's 1941. German troops conquer Schlüsselburg. Due to the conquest of Schlüsselburg on Lake Ladoga, Leningrad is cut off from all land connections. The Wehrmacht begins the siege of the city. Roosevelt, fire at will. President Roosevelt orders the US Navy to fire at German and Italian ships who are inside US-American waters without warning. Premiere of the movie Anneli, Story of a Life. Anneli, Story of a Life by director Josef von Bacchi premieres. Leading actress Louise Ulrich wins prize as Best Actress. I hear the laughter before I enter the room. Amelia Mahler sits at the table and is telling a funny story about one of her neighbors. He always does such crazy things. One time as the Nazis were marching past his house, he took a few rotten tomatoes. Tomatoes, sorry. I am from Australia. And threw them at the soldiers, shrieking, "Get out of my street, dirty Nazi swine." He only stopped when he ran out of tomatoes. His wife could barely calm the Nazis down. And he wasn't arrested? Well, he is a pretty reckless guy. His wife is the only reason he's not in prison. I'm not sure how much longer it will be before he has a real problem. If he needs a hideout or a new passport soon, we can help him. He really is a nice person. It would be terrible if something happened to him, answers Amelia. No, we didn't actually get a mission for it, though. Okay. So you can push here to get another army uniform. Okay. I don't think we can drop below 50 supporters. We have hit the amount we need, though, right? Yeah, it looks like we've unlocked all the missions. Okay, we're going to do this. Ooh, what is that? Emotional. Maybe we just send Helen Kupfer on this alone. I think we kind of have to. Right, we also need, like, books, don't we? Missing Observe Wehrmacht, which this needs spread books. So you're good at this, and it's someone with high secrecy. Actually, Helen Kupfer would have been amazing at this. That should be fine. Could use the army uniform, but I don't want to waste it. And then Arthur Ender, you really can't do anything, so just like get money? Wow, yes, you can just get money. Boom. And Arthur Ender can just hang out and not do anything. Boom. Didn't even have any problems. That's what I like to see. Didn't have any problems there. Also what I like to see. No problems there. I mean, Harrow thought he'd been seen, but that's fine. Wehrmacht takes Kiev. The 6th German Army completes the conquest of the Ukrainian city of Kiev in the Soviet Union. Keitel passes communist decree. Wilhelm Keitel, German field marshal, orders that for every German soldier killed in the occupied territories, 50 to 100 communists are to be shot. Wow. Oh, okay, no, right, in the occupied territory. So it's like well, I was going to say peacekeepers, that's not what it is. It's the occupying forces, so like the military police and everything. Okay, I thought they meant like in the war zone, like as... you know, as they're fighting, like for every one of them killed, they have to kill 50 to 100 communists like prisoners or something. No, that's crazy. Donate for your troops. The Winterhilfswerk collects money from the population to finance winter equipment for the Wehrmacht. They managed to collect 28 million Reichsmarks. Amelia Mahler expresses a dilemma for us in our meeting. Have to admit, as a German citizen and as a member of the resistance, I feel conflicted about this war. There's no conflict between being a German and being with the resistance. I know that, just listen. This war has the potential to be even more destructive than the Great War. Perhaps much more. Millions of lives lost all over the world. Which is why it's so wrong. And I agree, but still, the Wehrmacht has enjoyed such swift victories. Wouldn't it be better if they won quickly, rather than getting bogged down in a protracted war with millions more dead on all sides? You may be right. You might have a point, I say. If the war rages on, the death toll will be horrendous. That is true. That is a fair assessment. Okay, so we can't really do this one right now. We don't have enough money for this, I presume. Yeah. Okay, Amelia Mahler, I'm going to count on you to do that. Ooh, I leveled up. We'll throw up empathy, I think. Okay, so we have access to this. We're getting access to that. Or we can get access to this sort of at any time. So now we need to work on critical intel, which is 1... Shit, is that it? I thought we had way more critical intel. Spread leaflets. Oh shit, I must have missed the missions for, like handing stuff off to the Secret Service and whatnot. Ugh. Well, that's not good. Could just investigate weapon delivery and get a rifle. Is that actually worth it? I don't know. Okay, so to do this, we need... Oh, we just need money. Okay, so we just need money, basically. Which could also equate to people. Buy intel? Doesn't give us critical intel, though. No. That we don't need. We just like set up a workshop or something. Steal a truck. Could get one truck. See, now that might be good, because I'll bet you that's helpful for sort of escaping. But for that, we'd have to print out a bunch of new stuff. So... maybe we look at setting up a hideout, which again just needs money. So money is our goal. Okay, I think we're going to do this. Arthur Ender, you're sort of the king of that. Ooh, wow. Maybe we just have to do that. I can't afford to put them into hiding at the moment. Although we did sort of work out that no matter what we do, you know, that's going to be... it's going to be bad. So maybe we just, you know, bring the club, we go in for it. Like, this is never going to be good, so I think we might do that instead, actually. You know, chances of that happening are never going to be high. Nice, 16 marks. Can appreciate that. Now, how does this go? We're being shot at. We just gotta go for it. Oh my god, okay, just Helen thinks she's been seen. That's fine. The sky is grey as I walk down the Palace de la Concorde. So the Place. Plaza de la Concorde? I don't know. It has been 5 years since my last visit to Paris. Oh. Yeah, Place de la Concorde. 5 eventful years in which the face of Europe was deeply scarred. One sign of change is visible from afar, giant swastika flags on the facade of the Hotel Le Maurice. I look at the crumpled note that Falk gave me in Berlin. According to the message, the meeting point is in a side street behind the hotel. Continue the meeting point. All this walking has made me hungry, and I wonder if they'll have food there or if I should get something on the way. There is a bakery nearby. We'll hurry to the meeting point. The Rue de Rivoli looks almost like it did 5 years ago. Women with fashionable hats and opera coats, elegant men in suits, as if everyone was on their way to a grand dinner party. Even the German soldiers strolling in 2 by 2 looking at the shop windows almost fit in. Go to the meeting point. I turn the corner into a small side street off the Rue de Rivoli. The wooden door looks unremarkable. Someone has written ferme, or closed, on it with chalk. I check Falk's note. Yes, this must be the place. Knock at the door. Knock, long break, knock, 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 long break, knock. The signal Falk taught me. After a moment, a small window in the door opens and a pair of eyes looks at me from the other side. Que voulez-vous, monsieur? Falk sent me. I can hear a whispered discussion behind the door before it finally opens. It's dark inside and I can't see anyone or anything. Come in quickly, says a female voice. From what I can tell, a man and a woman lead me through a winding corridors into a vaulted cellar. Empty shelves on the walls look like they were previously used to store something. There is a printing machine similar to the one we have in Berlin and an open crate filled with sawdust and rifles. In the center of all of it sits a young woman pointing a gun at me. Who are you? She asks. My name is Harrow from Berlin. She nods and lowers the gun. George, it's for you. From a dark corner, a man enters. He's wearing sturdy worker clothes. I met this man 5 years ago. Despite the poor lighting, and despite the fact that he looks very different without his fine suits, I recognize him instantly. Do I know you? He asks. You are a British journalist we met here in Paris. Oh, right, you were a friend of Claire's, and those communists, Hannah and Richard, weren't you? Poor Richard. Foreseeable, but still very sad. How's it going? What do you mean by poor Richard? Haven't you heard? They killed him in Spain. His own people shot him in Stalinist purge. I don't understand how Hannah can still work with them. There were a couple once. I had no idea. So, you're here to meet Fritz? I was hoping to meet someone called Fritz, yes. He is in Paris, but not here. He would be insane to be seen with the resistance, but Claire can bring you to him. Claire! A dark-haired woman enters. Good to see you, Claire. We have to meet Fritz in a bar the Germans like. We can get there underground. Just follow me, she says. Sure, let's go. Claire leads the way. It seems like the cellars of Paris are all connected by a maze of tunnels. How's life when you're under occupation? How's life when you're under occupation, I ask. It's bad, she says. Paris was always a place of refuge for people from all over Europe escaping fascism in their own countries. When the Germans came, they had to flee again. Whoever stayed, collaborated, or went underground. How do the Germans treat you? They treat us poorly, she says. The Germans have arrested thousands since the start of the occupation. No one knows where they've taken them or if they are still alive. They make sure that no one feels safe. It's what the Nazis did in Germany as well. This is it, says Claire. We enter a small bar from the basement. The place is empty except for a few German soldiers sitting in a corner. Wait here, says Claire, and disappears to talk to the bartender. The soldiers shout for the waiter and order more drinks in German. The table is filled with empty bottles. Claire returns and points at a small door close to the bar. Your meeting is in there. See you later, she says. Enter through the door. I enter a small room. Once my eyes get used to the darkness, I can see a table. A man wearing a German officer's uniform sits at one side and gestures for me to take a seat. I wait for the man to start talking. I wait for the officer to say something. I have heard about you and your group. What you are doing is important right now, but people like you might become even more important in the future, he says. In the future? Fighting the regime is important right now, but there will be a time after the Nazis, a new Germany, once Hitler and his posse of criminals are gone. What will this Germany look like? What do you mean? What I mean is, who will govern it? How will it be governed? These are important questions, he says. Aren't you a little optimistic? Right now, the Nazis occupy over half of Europe. No offense, but it sounds to me like counting chickens before they hatch, I say. Sure, he says. At this very moment, Hitler's troops form a line from Leningrad to Madrid. What seems like strength will soon become their weakness. How do you know? Trust me, I know. In my position, I have to know. I look at the insignia on his uniform and wonder what position this man might have in the Reich. Can you explain? The troops are scattered too far apart. Germany was better armed than the rest of the world expected, but at the end of the day, it's still only a mid-sized country. What about the Axis? Hitler's allies are megalomaniacs, just like him. They won't save the day either. Italy's dream of the Mediterranean as Mare Nostrum? Oh, come on, he snorts. We already have seen the peak of Germany's power. From now on, things can only go downhill for the Reich. But there is still a problem. He takes a sip from his glass. What problem? If we want to stop the Nazis from the inside, we need the help of the military. There is no way around a coup, but most generals are still loyal to Hitler, even though they can see that he is leading the country into a catastrophe, he says. If they see that, why don't they stop him? Misplaced loyalty, opportunism, fear of what might come after the Nazis. Don't forget, many of these high-ranking military men might not be full-blown Nazis, but they have benefited richly from the regime. Of course they have. Yes, he agrees. We do need them, though. That being said, most of them are no Democrats. They'd rather have another dictatorship than something like the Weimar again. What do you want? I want the Nazis gone, and I don't want them to be replaced by another autocrat. That's why I would also like to prevent Germany from being governed by Russia when we lose the war. Living under Stalin is not a desirable future either, he says. So, we, our circle, would like to collaborate with your group, but you need to stay away from the Soviets, he says. What can I do to help? At the moment, not much, I guess. Continue your work, but things might change soon, and then you should be ready to act, one way or the other. With that, Fritz stands up and shakes my hand. Thank you for coming all this way, he says. You'll hear from us. Look for Claire. I find Claire at the bar. How was the meeting, she asks. Do you trust him? She shrugs. I trust him enough to organize these kinds of meetings. She takes me back to the train station. We say goodbye and wish each other the best. On the train, I think about the meeting. Is Fritz right about the peak of Hitler's power being behind us? And if so, what does that mean? Are we in the middle of this war or close to the end already? What is this circle? If the network that Fritz hinted at, if that circle exists, if there really are that many people in high places willing to overthrow Hitler, why don't they just do it then? Why don't they just stop him? Why are they letting all these atrocities happen? How many people have to suffer and die before all this is over? Alright. German victory at Kiev. German troops win the Battle of Kiev and capture 650,000 Russian soldiers. Russian Tank Week in Berlin. The British workers show their solidarity with the USSR. All armoured vehicles produced by 27th September will be delivered immediately to the Soviet front. Stalin agrees to Atlantic Charter. The Soviet government commits itself to the peace goals of the Atlantic Charter agreed to between the USA and the UK. I can tell that something is bothering Arthur Ender tonight. When I ask him what's wrong, he says, things are difficult at home right now. It's our son. Is your son in trouble? No, well, yes and no, says Arthur. He's fighting in the Wehrmacht on the Western Front. A couple of days ago, I overheard my spouse praying for a swift victory for our soldiers. Is that the source of the problem? Yes, it is. We fought because I couldn't bear to hear anymore. Sorry, we fought because I couldn't bear to hear anyone, let alone my spouse, wish for a quick victory for the Nazis. And he couldn't believe that I wouldn't give up everything to help our son stay alive. I think you two will be okay. You both love your son and share a set of values. This is a terrible situation. This terrible situation is just so stressful. Also, you're gay? So wait, you're gay, she's gay. There's not a lot of straight people here. I didn't think there were this many gay people in Germany in the 40s, but there you go. What do I need to do this? I need 3 intel. That's bad. Setting up a hideout might be good. But I don't have enough money then to do this, which I kind of need to do. Yeah, no, this has to happen. Was it secrecy and literacy? Which is actually Helen Kupfer all over, but she's so, like, hot right now. She's so on fire. She's radioactive. Can I send 2 shittier people, perhaps? Like, you two. It's about the same, isn't it? Yeah, it really is. So who would the other person be that I send? Alright, I sent Amelia Mahler. Although, might as well just do that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll collect donations because we sort of have to do this. Amelia Mahler is excellent at that. Actually, pretty much no matter what we do, we need uniforms. So we could actually go for safe passage. Because we can get the uniforms. The truck we can get eventually. We just need leaflets. Which means we need paper, which means... Oh, we'd have to set up a workshop as well. Ugh, which means we have to write slogans on the walls. I think we're in a position where I don't know if we can actually do this again. Buy intel. Missing spread books, so we have to spread books first. Which we don't have books, so we'd have to buy books. Could buy intel over here. Again, I kind of think we have to do this, right? You know, we have to start making headway. I don't want it to be like the last one and just run out of time. So I think we just need to aggressively do missions. Nice, that's a fair chunk of money we just got. Okay, that's fine. A couple of people thought they were seen. We're gonna enforce it. I don't care if it's suspicious. I have been seen. Ooh, although we have a secretary. Bombing of Homburg. The Royal Air Force bombs Homburg, deploying 85 tons of bombs. Mass murder of Jewish population in Kiev. After the Germans took the city, 33,771 Jewish civilians were shot. The Battle of Moscow begins. Germany's Army Group Center with up to 2 million troops, more than 2,400 tanks and assault guns attack the Russian capital and begin the Battle of Moscow. Those can rattlers won't give me any peace, says Helen Kupfer during our meeting. What are you on about, says Amelia Mahler. The Winter Hilfswerk. I can't get through the week without one of them poking me for donations, sometimes with threats. What do you mean threats? One of the Hitler youths told me they'd put my name in the papers for being negligent if I didn't give them something. Look, let's say all of it does go to help the poor. Great, but remember when we were told this war would be a quick, easy victory? Just another lie. War or no war, we need to help each other. It's never wrong to give to the poor, regardless of what the regime says, I say. Okay, we're also losing morale. Again, I'm feeling like we push this armor uniform and we just get it done. You're the one with the doubtful past. Shite. Okay, well, maybe Helen Kupfer gets arrested, maybe she doesn't, but again, I feel like we just take a club and this kind of has to happen. But if we set up a hideout, I know it's going to eat into our money situation, but it's probably fine. Right? I will say, I don't know what the 5s and 2s and stuff mean. Like, why are all of these 5? Oh, wait, is this how many days I have to do this? Oh my god, hang on. Oh my god, Haro Essa just lost everything. Yes, Haro Essa, can you go and get us donations, please? Okay, I'm going to keep an eye on this. Like, do these change? I want to see, do these change to 4 afterwards? Because if they do, then I am so dumb, and I should have seen this way sooner. Amelia Mahler rents a small place in Wedding under a false name, blah, blah, blah. Enforce it. Wow, he got seen immediately afterwards. That's so annoying. No, enforce it. Nobody die. Okay, some people got seen. That's fine. Someone's being arrested. Arthur Ender has been arrested, yeah. Yeah, okay. We sort of knew that would happen, though. Okay, Hitler. Soviet Union defeated. In a speech in Berlin's Sportpalast, Hitler says that the USSR had been defeated and would never rise again. Women and children evacuated from Moscow. As the German troops advance, the Soviet government evacuates women and children from the city. Snowfall in Moscow. The German troops of Moscow are being drastically slowed down by the increasing snowfall and mud. Helen Cooper enters the room and looks very excited about something. She smiles at us and says, "Do you remember how the British Secret Service contacted us?" "Yes, I do. Is anything new?" "Yes, they have a task for us if we are interested." What is it? What is the task? They want us to deliver correspondence to a few places in Berlin, says Helen. Do you know what that's about? I don't know what is in these letters, but I think we should use every opportunity to prevent a Nazi victory. We'll do it. Okay, we got a little bit of extra morale. So we have to go break Arthur Ender out of prison. But we can't send Helen Cooper. She really needs to hide. Do we need money for this? No. So, we send Helen into hiding. And then it works off secrecy. We're just gonna, like, have to make do with what we've got. I don't want to use an army uniform in case, like, it uses it. Yes. Oh my god. Okay. I'm so dumb. Right, there is no way we're going to get that mission done. If we have 4 weeks to do it. Yep, there it is. Mission lifetime. Oh my god. How did I not notice this before? Jesus, I am dumb. Okay, but... yeah, there's no way. Because we'd have to do this week, which we can't. Maybe we go for the truck? 1, 2, 3. It's possible. We'd need leaflets, though. Which at the moment we don't have. So, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. No. There is no way we can complete any of these missions. Oh, man, that sucks. Whatever. We'll see how we go. We'll see what happens, but that's kind of shit. I'm not into that. They don't give you much time, really. Enforce it. It's fine, look, we got some more morale back. Command to deport. Head of the German Ordnungspolizei, Kurt Deluge, signs the first order to deport German Jews to the occupied Eastern European territories. Ghetto in Chernovtsi. Bleh. A ghetto for Jews is established in the Romanian town of Chernovtsi. Inhabitants of the ghetto are severely punished for the slightest offense. Moscow under siege. Stalin says the city will be defended by all means and that it will never fall into the hands of the Germans. I feel like everyone around me is disappearing, says Gerhard Kettmann during tonight's meeting. I miss my brother. Your brother disappeared? Well, not exactly. He was drafted into the army, and just like that, he was gone. So many other young men have been drafted too. At this rate, there won't be any young men left in Germany. Boom. Well, we are going to leave this episode here, so thank you very much, everyone, for watching. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see more content from me, the Aussie Nerd, feel free to subscribe to my channel and check out the videos on there. If you think you know any friends might enjoy my content, make sure you share a video or two with them. I really appreciate it. And finally, if you want to leave any hints, tips, tricks, feedback for videos, or you just want to say hi, make sure you do so in the comment section down below so I can see it. And I'll see all of you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.